Sermon for the 23rd Sunday of the year 2023. For where two or three meet in my name, I shall be there with them. Our religion is very much a communal gathering of like-minded Christians who come together to worship and to share mutual values. I remember one day I took my car in for a service and the garage was far from the church where I lived. So I thought I'd take my paper and have a good read and wait till it was finished. So I just settled down to the crossword where the woman opposite, also waiting for her car, spotted a clerical collar and asked if I was a vicar, as people do. So I carefully explained that I was a Catholic priest. Then she started espousing the usual rubbish, saying she thinks all religions are all the same, and she does not see why there's any difference, and then she does not need to go to church, and she can pray at home. My eyes glazed over, because I've heard it so many times before. So I looked at my watch and said out loud, "Good Lord, is that the time I have to make an urgent phone call?" I went outside and started espousing on my phone, which obviously was not switched on. Eventually she wandered off and I went back to finish my paper in peace. People who are not religious can think that we are wasting our time. But how do they celebrate the birth of a child, marriage, death, cope with illness, accept suffering when it comes along? St. Paul in today's second reading says, "You must love your neighbour as yourself." That more or less sums up the challenge of our religion. I did not ask that lady how she copes with all these problems. When our Lord began his public ministry, he met with hatred and hostility straight away from the leaders of the Jewish faith, who were so mired in the past that they could not see the challenge of this new preaching. Often it was people who were not of the Jewish faith who understood him better. There was the case of the Roman centurion who came to ask him to make his daughter better. Our Lord responded to this genuine and heartfelt plea, and he immediately performed a miracle. The same thing happened with the Canaanite woman. Anyway, to finish the story off, by the time I finished my paper, the car was ready.